Welcome to Finding the Voices. Right now we are in Imphal and we are hosting our very first 1001 Thagatchari show. I have come to Manipur for a very short trip and I'm so lucky that today Mr. Mohammad Nasir Khan and Shaheda Praveen has come over here in our residence and they have candidly agreed to be participating for our 1001 Thagatchari show. Just a short introduction, Shaheda Praveen is the principal of Manipur Creative School at Kwakta and Mohammad Nasir Khan is the director for Manipur Creative School, trainer, mind mapping and memory skill and also learning how to learn. So welcome to our show.
Thank you so much for having us.
So both of you have always been very, very supportive of Finding the Voices and the initiative, for all our projects, and I'm so happy that both of you can make it today. So to start with, how about we have a short introduction from yourself.
Sure. So I am Shaheda Praveen and I'm the principal of Manipur Creative School, Kwakta campus. We have two campuses, one in Diulalen here in Imphal and the other one is in Kwakta. So I'm handling Kwakta campus. As a person, I am an educationist, I should say. I love being with students. I love teaching. I love motivating students. I should say that one thing that I love the most to do is spending time with students and nurturing them. That's one thing which I really love. And I'm blessed that God have given me this opportunity that I could spend more time with the students, and I'm blessed with a job wherein I enjoy every day. That's a little bit about me.
All right, let's go to Nasir.
Monica, thank you so much for having me here, and I'm glad that Shaheda is also with me today. So I am Mohammad Nasir Khan, Director Manipur Creative School, and also I'm the trainer of mind mapping and memory skills from Bhutan, UK, as well as I'm a trainer of learning how to learn. So this little bit of mind mapping and learning how to learn, it's the thinking tool to explore the potential of human brain. And this is how an individual or a student or a teacher can explore the creativity of himself or herself. And this learning how to learn, this is one of the best tool. This initiates or this helps a child or this helps a teacher to step by step learn the process of learning. Because normally we simply jump into a subject wherein we don't know how to learn a particular subject, but with this technique of learning how to learn, a person can learn physics properly, history properly, geography properly, and so on. And coming back to part of my likes and dislikes, as an educationist, I have to say it is books and books that I'm with. And everywhere I go, I am in search of, before I search for my breakfast or lunch, I normally search for good bookstore wherein I could get some good books. This is wherever I go, even in the airport, I used to roam around searching for books. So this is how I'm trying to spend the rest of my life. So that's it. Thank you so much.
So what book are you reading right now?
Right now I'm reading a book called 21 Lesson for 21st Century. I'm with that, and I'm with some other books as well, written by one Napoleon Hill, Theory of Success.
Okay.
So that
So a lot of personal growth and learning books. You are interested in those
and
of books.
one more book I'm in the pipeline is Mind Map Mastery by Mr. Tony Buzan. It was one of the latest publication from Tony Buzan, UK. So I have to express my sadness on the passing away of Mr. Tony Buzan on, say, April 13th this year.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a sad day because he was one of the most creative person
Mm-hmm.
on earth during his time. So by the time he was around 76 years, so the whole world was in grief when he passed away. Actually, he was one of the best thinker, and he is the one who is initiating mental literacy across the globe.
Mm-hmm.
He has written more than 140 plus books, and his books are being read in more than 250 countries.
Mm-hmm.
So this is how Tony Buzan was. So I'm actually on 13th of April at night, I was crying in my room, and my wife was in shock seeing me. So that's how he passed away. Anyways, I'll be in July. I'll be going to Scotland. Scotland is the place where Think Buzan headquarters is there.
Okay.
So I'll be visiting the entire team of Think Buzan, and will interact with them, and I'll be cooperating with them, working on education in the next in the coming years. I have to say.
Okay. So for our listeners, I have seen some of your pictures of your school, but can you share a little bit on how you started the school, why you started it, and the condition right now?
Regarding our school, we have 6 board of directors. So actually, 6 of us are the co-owners,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm one of them. And this Manipur Creative School is actually a venture for us. We have a vision for this. We have a vision, not a vision of 5 years or 10 years. We have a vision for all the next generations coming up. We want a paradigm shift in the field of education in Manipur, because when we look at the scenario of the state education system, what we could see is the I should say traditional learning system. Somebody may say rote learning, but I don't want to come down to that particular word, rote learning. I should say traditional learning system was going on. So in traditional learning system, we teach our child to pass an exam, and we give some homework so that they, with the help of some teachers, with the help of some elders, and they come up with a notebook prepared on it, and then that was cross-checked by teachers whether correct or not. The teacher never think or never question the child whether the homework was done by himself or herself. So that was how, just to sum up. And this system of education does not make a complete man. To make a complete human being, we need lot many things, and this education is one area wherein maximum of the areas of building a wholesome human being is covered. So this needs to be intervened at the right time. So right now, seeing the scenario of the state, we feel ki somewhere or the other our youths are being misguided. They are trained to memorize things and vomit it out inside the examination hall, and according to the marks they score in the ISSLC or class 12 or any board examinations, we try to grade them accordingly. So this is something very a negative forms of evaluating the child. We cannot, because at the end of the day, all these certificates, marks and grades, what do we use? We use for some formalities in office. If suppose I'm supposed to join an office, then that will be just part of the formalities, whether you have crossed graduation or not, whether you pass class 10 or not. That will remain inside a file forever. What the corporation, if I'm supposed to work in a corporation, or if I'm supposed to work in a government office, what is the government going to see? Me as a person. They will be observing how I work, my attitude, the way I tolerate the intolerant, the way I see the people, the way I solve the problems. These are all the things that are required, and this needs to be trained right from the childhood. This was actually our ground vision we have.
Okay. So what different, like, I think I'll give this example.
Yeah.
Give this question to Shaheda.
Mhm.
So what different do you do in your in your school, to incorporate all this other facet of education than the traditional method which we see, very popular in, I guess, Manipur and all over India, I would say.
Monica, we do a lot of different things, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
So the pedagogy that we work, that we inculcate, first of all, we promote educating the child with moral values,
Mm-hmm.
because if the child does not have that moral values in him or her,
Mm-hmm.
then this education that we are imparting to them does not is not fruitful, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I'm saying this is because, just to give you an example, let's say a child scores good marks in exam, but then
Mhm.
if the child does not have a good behavior, and if the child does not have good discipline, then at the end of the day, he might be very successful in life, but in, I should say, in personal life with the family or with friends, he would not have a very good relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Not just that, we have lots of social problems these days.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe that, and we at Manipur Creative School believe that having good moral values is one important thing, which helps us mold a child or nurture a child.
Mm-hmm.
And also, as we have lots of learning methodologies that we inculcate to our students, mind mapping is one of the methodologies that we use,
Mhm.
memory skill. So, mind mapping, it's very new to our state. Mind mapping is very new to our state. Mind mapping includes a lot of colors, and children love colors.
Mhm.
The moment they start playing with colors, they enjoy the learning process.
Mhm.
And memories, mind mapping and memory skills help them learn their long essay type questions or long answers in a very systematic way, and it makes learning fun for them
Mhm.
because they use lots of colors. In mind mapping, everything, it includes a lot of these organic branches.
Mhm.
Have you seen a mind map before?
No, actually,
Not
it's
yet?
the first time I'm hearing.
Okay. So mind mapping is very interesting, and I'm seeing a lot of changes in our students.
Okay.
And memory skill is, we have lots of technique through which it's very easy for a child to relate what they have learned in the class using keywords.
Mhm.
So we have those methods. We are teaching them these methods through which learning is fun, easy, and it goes to their long-term memory.
Mhm.
They don't forget things very easily.
Okay, so if I'm understanding correctly,
Mhm.
it's the same curriculum, but you're teaching a different way of learning.
Absolutely.
Not, not like, by heart and write it in the exam.
Yeah,
and
I
things
should
like
I should
that.
add some points
Yeah.
from Saida. See, the unique thing that we are applying in our school is regarding this evaluation system.
Mhm.
See, what we normally did is FA1 examination, FA2, FA3, FA4, SA1, SA2, for example. These are
Mhm.
the different types of examinations we have in a year.
Mhm.
What normally in our state did, we set some questions, the children write the questions, answers of these questions, and then we rate them accordingly. That was the traditional system.
Mhm.
And what we did in our school, out of say 50 marks in FA1 examination,
Mhm.
only 20 marks is for pen and paper.
Mhm.
30 marks we did lots of projects,
Mhm.
we checked their homework, we checked their notebooks,
Mhm.
we checked their
So
behavior.
it's an ongoing learning
Yeah,
has
yeah,
got
yeah,
the
yeah,
grades.
yeah. So
Got it.
every day they have
Mhm.
rooms to score in the examinations,
Mhm.
because 30 marks is reserved for the entire academic season.
Got it.
So that's how we try to initiate differently.
Mhm.
So this will take time, changing the system to a different one. This will
Mhm.
take time, but this needs to be done in our state. Not only in the state, this needs to be done even in at the national level as well.
Mhm.
If not, our boys and girls, when they start going outside, they have difficulties. Even
Mhm.
in one of the interview also, I have already mentioned in Impact TV. See, our state board students, Indian state board students, they don't get a chance to go for higher studies in Australia because they give one very simple reason. Indian state board Indian state board fail to test the intelligence of the child. This is the reason they give, So this needs to be corrected so that we we move around the world, because the world has become a global village now. Our boys and girls, our Manipuri boys and girls, our Manipuri Meiteis, our Manipuri tribals, Manipuri Muslims should be in Australia, should be in USA, should be in UK, should be in Scotland, should be everywhere. For that, we need the best system of education. This needs to...
No, that's very interesting. So it's more like, the book knowledge. People focus more on the book knowledge, but you're trying to teach them to be more analytical,
Yes, exactly.
And try to absorb whatever learning is there in any capacity. That's cool. All right, so can you share a little bit about the age group of students in your school?
At Kwakta, normal age group that we take in is 2.5 years for prep, for pre-nursery. However, the challenge we face, I should mention this, because parents feel that 2.5 years is a very tender age for a child to attend school, where parents fail to understand that that is the right time when a child should be introduced to school, because that's the time when they start learning new things, where that is the time when we should help them improve their fine motor skill development. So that's the we encourage. Actually, it takes a lot of counseling to motivate the parents to start sending their child to school at 2.5 to 3 years. So Kwakta, we still have this challenge, because a lot of parents at the age of 4 will come to the school and ask admission at pre-nursery for pre-nursery class. So that's a little bit of a challenge, and then by the time the child reach 8 years, 80% of the brain development has already taken place. So a lot of things that we could have molded at a very early age is being missed out. So
but you're not talking about book knowledge, right? You're talking more on
the skills and it is very important to develop this fine motor skill development in a child when the child is at the age of 2 to 5 years. Very much important, because if the muscles are not properly developed, and if the child is not being trained to speak properly, all this, and then even pre-nursery is not just about the normal education. It is wherein the child is being introduced to a lot of new things. Let's say, like I mentioned, holistic development and their physical development, wherein they are being taught to jump. Where a child, obviously they play, and me as a parents or parents, normally what we do is we say, you play too much, come in and sit at home. We don't allow them to go out. There are lots of restrictions that we keep with the child, and then the child would scribble at home in the walls, and we stop them. Don't do that. If the child start tearing papers, we stop them. Being a child, that curiosity comes in because let's say physically that is required for the overall development of their body. They start scribbling. Now at my age, if someone asks me to scribble in the wall, I would never do that. But then at the age of 2, at the age of 3, at the age of 4, the child loves to scribble, tear those papers, and we as a parents, we need to understand that this helps in the overall development of the child. So it takes a lot of counseling, and the age group that we have right now in our school is 2.5 years to 13 years.
13 years.
There are some late entries that we took in because there are few drops out that we consider in our school. Because being a village, there are lots of students who have been dropped out, and then I go home to home, visit them, and I try to encourage them that at least they should complete their higher education, and then that's how we're working.
So 13, so which grade is that?
Class 8.
Class 8.
Yes.
Okay. So you plan to increase the grade as they grow?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay, all right. So I have heard about, I don't know whether it happens, but just wanted to know the general sense of education for girl child. Is that do you see people's family, not sending the girl child to the school, and if you can share some perspective on that, in Kwakta.
Yes, when it comes to the context of Kwakta and my school, I have to say yes. I have.
So there is.
There is, and I have been constantly. Me and my team of teachers, we have been constantly working to eradicate it, I should say, because a lot of time, you might have seen even in my Facebook post as well. I used to be totally in shock. Because when parents would come for admission, when I start counseling them, or when I'll take detail about their siblings, they'll say, I have 2 daughters and I have 1 son. I said, well, where are your daughters studying? They'll say that
so they came for admission for the son, but not the daughters.
Yeah, not the daughters. And they'd say they're going to the nearby government school, or few would say that they don't go to school. So that is the kind of scenario, I should say, is prevailing. But then we started our school in 2016, and I have seen a lot of change, Monica. The enrollment rate of female have tremendously increased in my school, I should say, because whenever parents come, my first question would be always about their siblings. I do a lot of fact finding, and I try to at least give them a proper counseling that when the mother is educated, let me say a mother, because at the end of the day, females, we have a family. We would be the mother. We would be mother of our children. So, education of female is very important for this society, and this message needs to be clear to our people. And that is what I'm really struggling and working. That is one of the biggest challenge that, as a principal, I'm facing. Not as a principal, I should say, that the society that we are living in. I think we have a huge responsibility of
definitely.
And giving back to the society. My parents have given me this gift of education, and I am blessed that I am able to work and at least give this awareness to the parents who are not encouraging their daughters to go to school. So I think.
What is the general reason, it's really sad, for our listeners to know that in Manipur, we have situation wherein, because I have heard about this, but generally people say no, it doesn't happen in Manipur, and I just want to bring it out to our viewer that it does happen, and that's what Shaheda is sharing. So what is the general reason why they don't want to send the girl child?
You see, one of the basic reason is economically, Kwakta is very much backward. There are lots of family who are economically backward, and for them, for a lot of family, they feel that the boy should be educated, because the male child would be supporting the family. That is the I should say that is the mentality they have, or maybe that is the thing they feel. And the other point is that we do not have higher secondary till class 10. I can see a lot of girls going to school, but after class 10, a lot of students drop out, because in Kwakta area we don't have any higher secondary school. Kwakta is a huge village. It is now it is a municipality. We have both municipality and this Nagar Panchayat as well in Kwakta area, Gram Panchayat. I'm sorry. But then we don't have a higher secondary school. And see, going up to Moirang every day is these, let's say, the fare of transportation, and they don't feel safe to send their daughters up to Moirang.
So students have to take the public transportation if they have to go to high school and go to Moirang. Moirang is the nearest where they can go for high school.
Right. Higher secondary, I should say. And one of the other reason I should mention is parents feel that daughters would get married and they would be in somebody else's family. So that is what they feel. But then somewhere or the other place, I should say, they are missing the idea that wherever she goes, she is going to be the one who is going to nurture the future generation. So this message, it's just I have started working for this cause, and there are lots who are following me right now. We hope, hopefully very soon, a lot of parents have changed their mind, and very soon I hope, very much hopeful that this is going to change.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for your work, and yeah, we should definitely encourage education, right, irrespective of whether the child is a
Right.
male or female. And it's sad to hear that in Manipur we do have that situation where a girl child is not being sent to for education just because they are girls. And I hope that with your work and with other people who believe in the field of education, everybody would get the right to education.
And I should also mention that this our school, especially for girls' child, and there are lots of single parents as well. Children who are being single parent, single mother.
Mhm.
If the child belongs to a single mother, then we do not charge them tuition fees. We try to
Mhm.
give them, we support them somehow in giving them some scholarship,
Mhm.
and then so that they at least send their kids to school,
Mhm.
and they're financially they're not being burdened, and that's something we initiate as a school.
Yeah, so you are going above and beyond to encourage,
Absolutely.
you know, is it only for female or is it for male?
Male as well,
Okay, good.
but then yeah, male as well, both, for both.
Yeah.
But personally, when it comes to me, it's not that I'm not it's not, but I work personally. When I have to sponsor, I sponsor a lot of child from my own salary. I also get some salary in the school, so I sponsor a lot of kids, and I always prefer female here. It's not that I'm a feminist only, but then yes, because of the situation which is prevailing right now, yeah, I feel that I should educate more and more girls. That's what I feel.
That's awesome. Is there anything else you want to share before we move to the next segment? Yeah, go ahead.
Say, I should say little bit of this education movement in the state. So right now, I'm given a chance to work in some sector of the government area as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm working on it, and most probably in the next 1 or 2 years there may be some changes, for which I have done lots of research. I have traveled the length and breadth of the country, meeting educationists, meeting corporate style education sectors, and meeting government sector institutions where they are properly functioning, like Kendra Vidyalaya, Navodaya, Sainik schools, and I have been visiting. So all these contexts taken together, I've prepared a model wherein this has been localized, suiting the structure of Manipur. So this, I'm working on that area. So hopefully very soon you can also join me in your prayer, so that at least some achievement is there for the state.
Yes,
Thank you.
of course. Anything for education. Yeah, my father, like you said, has given all our siblings, we are 4 of us, has given the gift of education and treated us with equality. And I wish that everyone would have that gift. So yeah. So is there anything specific you found from all the survey, going to different schools, that you found was lacking in Manipur and you want to implement it? I know you might have found lots, but
Yeah.
just for our viewer, the first top 3 or something like that.
This is a very, I have to say, a vast topic, but cutting short all this, I should say our evaluation system needs a change. Totally, there is no taste of intelligence of the child. Both IQ and EQ.
I think EQ we lack a lot.
We lack
right?
more on that, and IQ as well. We lack, because we simply test the memory of the child. This is the first thing. The second thing that I find for our state is the sense of responsibilities of being a teacher in the state. The teacher, I don't know how many of my friends who are teachers will be scolding me after listening this, but I should say almost all the teachers in the school of Manipur, they have lost their sense of responsibilities of being a teacher. They have lost all the morals of a teacher. I have seen teachers who are involved in contract work. I've seen teachers who are involved in politics. I've seen teachers who are running a pawn shop. I've seen teachers who are doing the business.
But don't you think they are supplementing because teachers are so lowly paid and, to survive?
See, Monica, being a teacher, there should be a passion in them. They are not doing the supplementary job, they are confined to their job. Once, for this particular journey of my education research, I should not mention the name of the area or the teachers, but I'll simply tell you the story. I was in search of one particular teacher in one area. I'm shocked on that day, and I tear myself also. I was searching that teacher in one particular village, and nobody knows. Nobody knows. When I tell him Oza such and such, so say for example, I should say Oza Tomba, for example. So I was looking for Oza Tomba in one area, and the villages surrounding homes does not recognize him as Oza Tomba. So I entered 2-3 homes, they don't know, and finally I came across a pawn shop. And I asked the particular pawn shop, do you know someone called Oza Tomba? And that pawn shop also said there is no Oza Tomba in the area. And I stepped some 50 feet away from that shop, and I asked a woman, and that woman said, do you say Tomba? Yes, Tomba. Oza Tomba? Yes, Oza Tomba. That guy in the shop, I guess he is one of the government school teacher. So you please ask him properly. In the area, he is known as Dukan Tomba. He is known by Dukan Tomba, not as Oza Tomba, provided he is a government salaried teacher, permanent job teacher, government pay. So I approached him once again. I am in search of one person called Tomba who is working as a teacher. Are you a teacher? He looked at me surprisingly. Oh, Oza, I Oza Oze. So I somehow asked him, inquired about his present job, like running a pawn shop. Is this how you earn your living? Yes. And what about your salary? Someone is working for him.
No, I understand that. I think in Manipur I have heard about that. But nevertheless, I want to believe that there are good teachers out there.
No doubt. There are good teachers.
There are others, like you said, where I've heard that people are contracting their teaching job to someone else.
Yes,
and, so that's good to point out, but I want to believe that there are good teachers.
Yeah, definitely. There are lots of teachers
Yes.
who gave me lots of inputs to me as well, who give lots of advice, who have lots of wisdom. There are thousands, but I'm talking about the maximum majority of the teachers who are at present, who has lost the morality of being a teacher. This is my second point.
Okay.
The third point that we need a correction in the state is our curriculum. Our curriculum is totally outdated. This needs to be upgraded. And in our curriculum there are so many areas that we are missing. We don't there is no areas, there are very less areas where we let our child think. Our children, they will not have a future if they don't start thinking right from school stage. They should start thinking inside the classroom. But our curriculum, our syllabus does not give a room. And not only that, our teachers also does not ask any question to the child. And any of the child who asks question to the teachers are not being entertained or encouraged. So this is how we don't let our child start thinking. So when the child lack thinking right from childhood, uh, our functioning of the brain becomes very poor. They utilize only the left chamber of the brain, right side of the brain where maximum of the creative areas works is kept unfunctioned. So that this is how we don't make our child thinking, we don't let our child to be creative. This is how the system of education. I have so many things to say, but I think for now these three is enough.
Yeah, thank you for sharing the top three. But just one follow-up question. So how about the content? Does the content includes to suit the northeastern part of India or Manipur, or how is the content of the syllabus?
At present, that too very less. We fail to highlight our traditions properly. We fail to highlight our cultures properly. Somewhere it is reflected, but not properly.
Okay.
So, say in a classroom there will be tribal students, there will be Meitei students, there will be Pangan students. You enter to a child, a Meitei guy or a Meitei student, and ask him about Kom tribe in Manipur or the tradition of Nagas. They'll hardly know.
Yeah, that's true.
This
I
area.
mean, it's not only the student; it is us common people too, right?
Because
I mean, of course, you can step out of the box and read and things like that. But absolutely, I just wanted to share that since we are talking about education, the need to expand and include and learn more about our community.
Yes, exactly.
So thank you. That's so great that you're taking such initiative. I would be following, and my best wishes to the implementation, and would love to hear how it turns out.
Thank you.
All right, so let's move on to our next segment, the
Sure.
Thagatchari.
Yes.
I can't wait to hear what both of you are going to nominate. So let's start with the first nomination. Nominate somebody at your personal space, to show your gratitude.
At the state level.
No, at your personal space.
Okay.
Yeah, then we'll go to the state level.
Okay.
At the level of Manipur, then we'll go to at the level of global.
Okay. So at my personal level, I should say my wife, because that might be not so sweet to you, but I should say, because I've seen her struggling. That's how I got the inspiration. So I'm more on imagination type, more on thinking type, and I used to daydream a lot. So while I'm daydreaming, almost all the entire works of the day is being done by her. So there are times I'm with the books and I used to imagine things, thinking of what I should write, because I'm working on some writing projects as well right now. So I'm thinking on, okay, I have got a new word, very new word to me. Say a very beautiful English word, for example. And I've been thinking, okay, this word, where do I utilize in my writing? So that, okay, it attracts the readers. So something like that, imagination is going on almost the entire day. So she used to manage maximum of the workload. Not only that, actually I inspire her, I motivate her to continue her studies. So that's how even after getting married only she completed her LLB. So that's how she struggled for studies. She struggled to manage the child, she struggled to manage the family. And I have both my parents, she struggled to serve them as well. Not only that, she served as a principal, looking after the entire staff and 350 plus students. That is not an easy job. So for me.
So Thagatchari to Shaheda.
Thagatchari to Shaheda.
It's awesome to see that you have little kids, right? How old are they now?
5 years.
5 years and twins.
Yes, they are.
Wow, that's so sweet. All right. How about you? Let's hear your nomination. You are not, what do you call, pressured that you have to nominate your husband now that your husband has
that's
nominated
why I was
you.
a little bit upset. I was thinking of.
No, I'm just
You have
kidding.
taken back words from my mouth, that's why I said very bad. Being very honest, Monica, this Thagatchari and this gratitude thing, when it comes to my personal life, it is always, I have a lot of people to thank, but then, yeah, one person that I should not miss is my husband. The reason I should say this is because since I know him since 1997, I was in school. I was in 7th standard at the time.
I don't know whether that's a good influence to our viewer.
No,
No, I'm just kidding.
yeah. And then the reason why I'm saying this is because he is one person who have constantly motivated me to, and the first books which was apart from my curriculum books, which I have read, motivational books like Sif Kera, You Can Win, and a lot of motivational books, and using a good pen, all these things comes through him actually. And even now, it's a motivation for me. People might find it rude sometimes, but then sometimes when I go back home after completing all the home works and everything, when I relax, he'd say, you should spend more time reading. And he is one person who continuously buy books for me. I'm not a bookworm, but then that's his motivation that helps me learn new things, read about new things. And I should say it's not because he appreciated me, but then this is something which is going on. And see, the love and the care and the support is really important. The support I have received, when I'd be during my kids were, I was expecting on the 25th of this November 2013, I was being admitted in the hospital for my cesarean, which would take place the next day. And on the 22nd of November, I was giving my examination. And it was possible just because of him. That's how we took special permission, and then I was able to give this examination. Not just that, after giving birth to my twins, he would bring the babies in the car. They would wait outside, and I would be inside the examination hall attending classes, and everything was possible just because of the support, his support. Not just his support, I should say the support of my entire family. I'm blessed with a very supportive family.
Oh, that's awesome. It's very inspiring to see husband and wife working together and balancing and having a career together. That's awesome.
Thank you.
You have anything to add?
No, and if I have to talk about the global level.
No, now you have to talk about the Manipur.
Oh, Manipur.
Yes.
In context of Manipur.
In context of Manipur, who would you nominate, and who do you feel you are inspired by their work?
I have a lot of people in my mind, but then currently, if I should say, I'm really inspired the work of our current Chief Minister. This is not something related to politics. That's something which I feel from the heart. Since my childhood, I have seen a lot of chief minister in Manipur, but then the change I have seen in Manipur, the kind of relationship he is trying to build up among the hill and the valley, this is really positive, I should say, Monica. Like we mentioned, we all talk about this improving relationship between the communities in Manipur. We have so many social problems in Manipur. We have so many differences. But then I have seen him continuously working for this, which is one thing which I really like about him. And not just that, his interest, he have started a lot of change. I like his initiative, the Go to Village initiative. I have seen personally. I did not visit when it happened in Kwakta, but then I got a lot of feedback from the parents who come to my school. They said, "Madam, you know what? I get these income certificate when they came here. Or few would say, I got this document, I was unable to get this, but then as this initiative happened in our village, and then we are able to see these changes. And I've seen a lot of family now having this gas connection, so it's not his only initiative, but then, and this one initiative which I like is the what is that, Miam Ginumit. I have seen a lot of people, I have been following his videos, and it really inspires me, the way how he interact with the common people, the way how he try to help and solve the problems. This is something really inspires me. There are a lot of people in Manipur who really inspires me by their work, but currently if I have to talk, then he is one person. He might not know me personally, but then yes, I am really inspired by his work.
No, absolutely. I'm so happy to hear someone nominating our Chief Minister of Manipur, and definitely I do see that, like all the different attempt to engage and communicate with the people of Manipur.
Right.
So yeah, thank you for nominating him. Yeah, go ahead.
One of my leaders, I have to say, whom I admire, has been spoken by Shaheda. No problem. I still have many more. Because he is someone who has the creativity with him. So let us see if all his visions works in the state, and probably in the next 2 to 3 years we'll be seeing some changes as well. And one more friend of mine whom I admire a lot is Mr. Armstrong Pame. We have been together many times in his office. We interact, and I first came to know about him with his 100-kilometer road, People's Road and all. Thereon I start following him, and then we came to know each other and interact. And last year also I visit while he was DC in Tamenglong. I drove down to Tamenglong with my car, and then in his office we sit for around 1 hour or so, and talking about education only. How we can transform our state. He has given me lots of feedback. He shared very important idea about his personal experience there, somewhere in South Africa. There in one place in South Africa, I don't exactly remember the name of the place. He did mention the name of the place. So there he went for some purpose, I guess. So there in the government education sector, what they did is all these old age pension card holders who are enjoying this pension from government, they are all engaged in experiential learning. They are asked by the government to visit the schools. They were given the roster for the whole year, and they will go there. They will share their experience. They will share their wisdom. They will share the art they know. Say for example, someone might be a carpenter. Then they will teach the child how to make a table. So this area right now in this age, this has been totally lost from our society. Even myself, when I was a kid, we used to make so many toys made of bamboos and woods by ourselves. We used to design it, and we used to carve them, and then we used to play with it. That's how we explore our creativity. But our child, even my son, they want a ready-made remote car.
You just go to the store and buy it.
They just want the remote car, and this is how we are spoiling our child. So this area he suggested me during my visit in Tamenglong. That's how we have been in frequent touch. We communicate each other through social media platform as well. And he's one person I admire.
Absolutely. Both of you have chosen very nice nomination. I know we are running a little bit out of time, so let's go to the global level nomination.
at global level, I have to say Mr. Tony Buzan, but
Okay.
sadly
Yes.
he has expired.
Mm.
But I should speak little bit about him.
Mhm.
At during 60s, he was in during 60s he was in university,
Mhm.
and then one of his friend, a very close friend and a naughty type in the classroom, this friend of him, he could learn things very fast, he could imagine things, and inside the classroom he will be naughty type, but
Mhm.
Mr. Tony Buzan was a silent type, shy type. So Tony Buzan knows that his friend has the capability to think, but
Mhm.
because of his nature or behavior inside the classroom, the teacher in the class think him as someone who is not well mannered, or who is something like that was
Mhm.
the uh, scenario in the classroom.
Mhm.
So that's how he grew up, and then in the 60s he was in universities, and then thereon he started realizing once again his childhood days. During his childhood he was having the problem of learning.
Mhm.
He can't memorize properly, he can't read properly, or something like this. Some problems was with him. That same situation he realized once again during his college, and then he started visiting libraries and start searching for books, how our brain functions, how to learn new things.
Mhm.
So one of the librarians said, uh, such types of books will not be available anywhere,
Mm.
and that type of book does not exist, was the response.
Mhm.
And that's how he started thinking, my brain, I cannot, it is not functioning properly, I have learning problems, I have to solve these problems, for which I should know how our brain functions. So thereon he started undergoing research on how our brain functions, how learning took place, from where creativity comes, from where all these logical conclusions of every human being comes.
Mhm.
This, he has the curiosity of all these questions. He asks lots of questions to himself, and he started visiting neuroscientists at that time.
Mhm.
And then thereon he meet one after another. He meet students one after another. He meets teachers one after another, and then finally he came to know about this mind mapping. That's how he invent mind map. Is the inventor of mind map, and then he is the one who is moving globally, spreading mental literacy. Because without mental literacy, we are not, we are unable to think properly. With only mental literacy, we'll be thinking properly. With mental literacy only, our logical system, this works well. How? The reason is, during at this 21st century, we don't eat our food properly. While eating food, we start thinking about, okay, I'm late for the office. That's how we fail to chew our food.
Mhm.
And our stomach, because we don't chew the food properly, and that's how the stomach is having the problem. We have lots of restlessness, we are in hurry. That's how Tony Buzan particularly talks about one particular word, that is mindfulness.
Mhm.
While you are having food, have food.
Mhm. Be present.
Be present.
Yep.
While you are reading, be reading.
Mhm.
Mindfulness.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, this is very much required. That is how he traveled across the length and breadth of this entire world, and that's how he spread mental literacy. That's
Mhm.
the kind of person Mr. Tony Buzan was. He dedicated his entire life educating the people to think, and think. So
Thank
I
you
relate
for
my
sharing. Yeah, every show I learn so much about new personalities, and after the show I'll look up and I'll again order books and read. So thank you so much for sharing. All right, now to Shaheda.
Okay, so globally, one person I would like to nominate would be a former president, APJ Abdul Kalam. Sir, I'm really inspired with his way of life, I should say, Monica. He was such a humble and such a down-to-earth person, and I I'm really, I should say that I would really like to, if I have to die, I would like to die like him. The moment he spent his last moment with students, interacting with students, I'm really blessed that I did not have an opportunity to meet him personally, but I'm blessed reading all his books, and it gives me a lot of insight on how he worked, and it really motivates me. Truly, the way how the kind of person, as I have read and as I have seen while he was living, while he was alive, um, he have motivated so many lives, and he was constantly motivating students to be I to always get inspired by new things with new ideas. And I always suggest my students to read his book, The Ignited Minds. So he's one person who really motivates me. So again, yes, lots of people are there, but then one person who's thinking and who's saying I follow religiously is Sir APJ Abdul Kalam, who is no longer with us. Thank you.
But still, like how his words,
It's
still an inspiration.
It is, and it would live forever.
Right. Yeah. So thank you so much for sharing. We are at the end of our segment, but before we end, is there any comments, question about our project on Thagatchari or Finding the Voices in general?
I really appreciate your initiative, 1001 Thagatchari. Monica, this is such a positive way through which we can, I should say, inspire people in a very positive way. There are lots of negative things which is happening around us, but our focus should always be on the positive thing, and we should always believe in spreading the positive things. So I really find your initiative a great platform where all the positivity can be spread, and through which we can appreciate the people who have inspired us, who have made a lot of changes in our lives, and through which we can learn a lot of new things. Thank you so much for such a lovely and great initiative.
Thank you. Yes, definitely.
We have spoken a lot, so now I want to give the opportunity to Monica. So how do you get the inspiration of 1001 Thagatchari initiative?
No, so like I have been doing my podcast, as you know, like for the last 5 years.
Yes.
And I felt that when I interviewed many of the people, it is really sad that some of the people are very well established and talented, and they have contributed so much, and I don't think there is enough coverage or people going and seeing them and appreciating their work, right? And I think that our community is filled with conflict and so much of anger and so much of hatred that many people, their energy is so focused in pointing fingers at each other and trying to be very critical. So I just wanted to bring a change and pause, and I know that there are bad things, there may be things which you need to be critical about, but at the same time, to balance it out, I wanted people to practice gratitude, and gratitude truly expands us as a person, right? And I know when I started this, I don't know how I came up with the number, but I am stuck with the 101, 1001, 1 lakh 1. So
one more than others.
Right. So so I don't know. I just said 1001 Thagatchari. So my goal is to meet 1001 people and talk about gratitude. And I know that when we do this, right, like you also would then spread it out to someone else, and our community would be filled with more positive talking. Like today we spoke about so many people, and when people hear it, I get a lot of feedback that, oh, I didn't know about that person, right? And then we look them up.
Yes.
And then we get inspired, because I think we need local role models. Of course, we have other people whom we have looked up to within India as well as global, but we need to build our community, and that's why I started with this initiative, and I got a lot of positive response so far. I'm very thankful to participants like you who are very candid and like open and sharing it, and that's how we build the community together.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, so to end the show, what I have done is I have created these cards, and these are paintings of mine.
Wow.
That's
and
great.
Yeah, so for the people whom you have nominated for Manipur and for Global,
Mhm.
my plan is to send them the card or do something big. I haven't yet figured that out.
Mhm.
But for the personal level, this is what I'm going to give it to you,
Thank
so
you
that you
so
can
much.
write all the nice things for your husband and give it to him. And this is for you, so that you
Thank
can
you so
write
much.
for all the things about Shaheda, and this would be an inspiration to each other.
I'll be doing this tonight.
Yes, please. Would
I've
love
been
to share.
complaining.
Would love to see what you write. Take a picture and tag us. So
Yes,
this
sir.
is a card from me to you. I just
Thank
want to
you.
acknowledge everybody who is participating in our Thagatchari show, that you are special, because it takes only special people to pause and appreciate someone, especially in our society. So I just wanted to let you know that you are special.
Thank you so
And
much.
this is for you. I did want to go and do sessions with students, and I know that being educators, I really wanted to visit your school, and I think I've been trying for a couple of trips, and hopefully in my future trips I'll be able to.
Sure, sure.
So this is a card of 50,
Mhm.
and just to start with, I guess. And again, this is a painting of the Zuko lily, which I did.
Yeah.
And I wanted you to do a session with your students. Let them write, about gratitude, and they can write it at the back, give it to the person whom they are nominating.
Yes, exactly.
And so right now I'm able to give only 50, but also I'm sharing it to all our viewers that, all these cards are being sponsored by someone, and I want to fill our community with this card. So if you want to sponsor the cards, I want to you're most welcome to, so that we can give it out to students, to our community. And I want people who receive this card to read it and feel happy and have a smile, right? And hopefully they'll post a picture or a message, and
Right.
that's what I'm trying to do. So this is for your students.
Thank you so much.
Right. So thank you so much for your time today.
Thank
and
you.
I hope that we'll have more sessions in future, and look forward to hearing more progress about your school.
Inshallah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. All right, to all our listeners, as you can see, we are having our Thagatchari show, and we are targeting 1001. Right now we are less than 30, so we have still lots to go, and I want to invite all of you to come here, participate, nominate the people who has inspired you, pause and give them thanks. So let's do that, and come on over here and share your gratitude. Thank you.